Well, if you say every single week that somebody is going to go home, eventually they'll go home. Hey, how's it going? I am the Survivor Dude. Welcome to another Survivor video. Today we are talking about another episode of Survivor, and Jeannie went home. I've been saying for the last, I think, 3 weeks in a row that Jeannie is going to be the target. Finally, she was. This is another really strong episode from Survivor. Really enjoyed a lot of the things that were going on in this episode. And we'll get into them all. We'll talk about them all. I just want to say before I forget, because I know we got a lot to talk about Shan and a lot to talk about Ricard, a lot to talk about what's going on with all that other stuff. But I want to say before I forget, I want to give a shout out to Sydney, because I believe Sydney, in 41 seasons of Survivor, might be the first woman to get the "I'm a badass fisherman" edit. You know? It's like she went out there, she spearfished, she said she got like 9 fish or something, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm still shocked by Sydney. Every single episode, she gives me more and more of a surprise, and I've said this before, but I thought she was going to be one of the first one out, and now she's one of the people in the Blue Tribe that is definitely one to watch, because it's just like, think about it, we've gotten Rupert, we've gotten Ozzy, we've gotten all these people, which are the alpha male guys going out spearfishing, and we see all that. But we've never really seen a woman just go out and do that. And not to say they couldn't, or even that they haven't, but they haven't been given that edit. And wow, Sydney, she did it, and she was doing it. So yeah, good on her. That's really all I have to say about the Blue Tribe, except for Nasir, which I'll get into later. Yellow Tribe still seems to be in a little bit of a weird fun, because Xander, oh man, Xander, you have to have your story straight before you tell someone, okay? First of all, the fact that you were dumb enough to hide your idol and your extra vote in your bag, rookie mistake number 1. Always bury it somewhere. Or I don't know, keep it on your anything's better than just leaving it in your bag and then leaving it alone. That was a rookie mistake. But then, like, the way you told Tiffany is like, yeah, and I just found this today. It hasn't been activated yet, even though I've already said the code word like 3 times. Oh, shoot. I mean, come on, Xander. Tiffany's, I haven't been a big Tiffany fan. I've been saying, no, she's probably going to be a goat to the end. But Tiffany's whole expression, she's like, oh my gosh. And like, and I'm just like, she was playing that up so good. And she's like, oh yeah, but like played it to him like, oh yeah, that'd be good. That's good. Yeah, it's good that you have that. And blah, blah, blah. And, And now all 3 idols have been activated, and I love it. Let's just go on to the advantage counter. Let's look at who has that. We know that now Shan has an idol. We know that Xander has an idol, and we know that Nasir has an idol. Personally, I just want to quickly say I loved how that scene was edited, because we were all just like, come on, Blue Tribe, get it together. Why has nobody found this? And then this year's like, I'm as confused as a goat on AstroTurf. I'm like, holy shoot, what? And they flashed back and showed him finding it. I'm like, okay, I like that. And I like that this hasn't come out of nowhere. We've been setting up a few flashback scenes, like with how Brad already found the idol. So these scenes, I like it because it builds an anticipation, because even something you think might happen, maybe that's not what's going on, and you can flip it around with a flashback scene. I like that. It leaves a little bit of uncertainty on the game. I like the way they're editing that. But yeah, so Nasir has an idol, Xander has an idol, and Shan has an idol. Those are the 3. The extra vote is currently, we got 1 in Xander's hands, 1 in Ricard's hands. I'm guessing that'll probably be back in Shan's hands by next episode. I don't think Ricard is ballsy enough to to be like, oh, psych, I'm not giving it back to you. He might be, but I don't think he will. I think he wants to maintain a good, trustful relationship with Shan, and I think that might... And let's be honest, if they went to tribal council, they're not, obviously, but if they went to tribal council, having an extra vote's not going to do diddly squat against an immunity idol. Yeah, so, yeah, I think that'll be back in chance, but it's currently in Ricard's hands. I messed up. I forgot that Deshaun also has an extra vote. Evie, last week I forgot to put this down. Evie said, hey, you get the extra vote, I'll just protect my vote. And, yep, so Deshaun is safe. What I do like about this, like, I wasn't a big fan of the whole code word thing, but what I do like about this is it lures people into a false sense of security where someone can't vote, and you're like, oh, well, he's not a threat right now because he can't even vote. But he could be a threat later down the line, and then every week these things get said, but nothing happens out of it. And then it keeps going, and then, boom, all of a sudden, flipped around, Xander has an immunity idol and an extra vote, and he can vote. And so now he's gone from a powerless player in the game to someone who does have some power. But we have one more advantage that I have not talked about yet, and that is the new knowledge is power advantage. You see how this counter is getting a little out of control? There's a lot of stuff to keep track with here. So Liana can now steal an idol or an advantage from anybody else because she has to ask them, do you have an advantage or do you have an idol? She can't ask, do you have an advantage or idol? She has to ask for both. She has to ask for one specifically. And if they do, then they have to say yes and give it to her. A lot of people are getting on this whole thing. It's like, what? You can't lie? That's not good. I don't like that. It's like you're forced to tell the truth on Survivor. I feel it's like, yeah, they don't necessarily have to do the words. The way I call it, this is like go fish. You know, do you have any threes? And if you do, you have to hand it over. You know, it's not like you have to say yes and then hand it over. You just have to, if they call you, and look, I'm actually interested in this as a advantage going forward. I mean, it's a little bit reminiscent of the idol nullifier, because then if you're like, well, everything will be smooth sailing for us as long as this person doesn't have an idol, so I'll just use my advantage and double check. Sure, you do have that. However, it adds a little bit of a wrinkle on it that you have to do it at tribal council, so everyone needs to see you do it. You know, everyone's going to see you do it. No matter what, you can't just hide this in your pocket. You can't just stick it away. What I don't like is that it's happening this season in conjunction with the code word idol twist. Because anybody who knows anything about where the idols are, everybody knows now. Like, it's not just that Liana went through Xander's bag, found his idol clue or whatever, and now she knows that he did it. She knows everybody who has it. She knows. I mean, sure, to be fair, Shan told her, but now they also know Nasir has it. And this makes knowledge of where the idol is too open and widespread, and it's gonna make everybody target you because you are now at the forefront of it. Like, everybody knows. Like, okay, Blue Tribe, the only one who might know Nasir has it is Deshaun, because Deshaun had a conversation with Evie about how the idols were hidden, but I'm not sure if she told him what the code words were. If she knows what the code words were, then she told him, then maybe he's like, okay, Nasir definitely has an idol. But maybe he doesn't. Maybe he doesn't know that. Either way, Nasir might be the only one in that tribe that doesn't know. But Ricard and Shan both know Nasir has an idol, and we know that Evie, Xander, and probably thanks to Evie, Tiffany and Liana, they'll all know. So that means that we have like 4, possibly 5 people in the game that will know where the idols are, so that makes it really hard for them to keep it a secret. Like, if this twist appeared on a regular season of Survivor, I'd actually be pretty okay with it, just because it makes you need to rely on your social awareness and social know-how in order to get people to either trust you with the information that they have an idol that you can then steal from them, or maybe it makes you more aware that you will have to, go against somebody. Yeah, that you will have to, like, read their emotions and their mood, and it's like, okay, they seem a little confident, I bet they have an idol, I'm going to ask them if they have it in order to steal it from them. There's a lot of advantages and stuff going on. It's hard to keep track of, but yeah. Now let's get to Shan. Shan with the whole thing, and I am in awe of Shan. Because Jeannie should have been able to realize that she was on the bottom of this three-way alliance of her, Ricard, and Shan. And what does she do? She finds the Beware advantage. And she basically just takes her heart and hands it to Shan, and Shan is like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Because, yeah, if Jeannie had taken it, said the code word, then she would have had immunity and she could have saved herself this episode. But because she didn't, because she just told Shan and Ricard everything, they were able to socially manipulate her into them getting the idol. Now, the whole situation with Ricard, let me just say for this, not always in tiny tribes like this does a cream always rise to the top in terms of the players who last. You know, but I think in this case, it did. I think Ricard and Shan were the two best players on the green tribe, and they lasted to the end of their tribe because they're the only ones left. Now, where does that put them in terms of going forward? I don't know, because like Ricard is starting to get a little impatient, and I think he's starting to get a little frustrated that he's not in the driver's seat like Shan is. Now he's saying a whole lot like, I'm coming up with the plans and everything, and I'm not sure if anyone can give him flack for like, because like from as far as what we saw, it was Shan who came to Ricard and said, I'm going to get JD to vote, give me his extra vote. Now maybe then she and Ricard discussed the best way to go about it, but I don't know. Shan, that seemed to be a play that relied solely on Shan's social play. Maybe Ricard had some, you know, some inner workings on JD. I just didn't see it, and to be fair, I feel like that'd be a question to ask Shan down the line, you know, like how much do you feel like it is? But the fact that someone's getting frustrated with it shows that he's not satisfied with being Shan's right-hand man the whole way down to the end. But I do think it was the right decision, because Jeannie was all like, oh yeah, you should take me because I'm so good at making friendships that I'll get us down to the end. I don't doubt that Jeannie is good at making friendships. The problem is I don't think she's a mastermind of getting strategic friendships. Everything we've seen of her, she's been all like, oh, I just won't work at Tribe now, or good luck getting your fire started. It means she's a very task-oriented person. She's the person in Among Us that's just doing the tasks, and then when anybody says, you know, did anyone see blue? And you're like, I don't even know which color is blue. You know, I don't even know who they are. I was just doing tasks. It's like, you are no help whatsoever. Anyway, you know, it's like, so as a strategic like, I bet she could be really great at making strong friendships for herself personally down the line. I don't think that would be great for strategic alliance building down the road. But I will say, I gotta give it to Ricard, because we were slamming JD last week for handing over his extra vote. And Ricard, even though it wasn't his extra vote, this was Shan's, I like that he's like, look, I'm not gonna backstab you. You know I'm not. I'm gonna hang on to this to ensure, just give you a little bit of incentive that you're not gonna backstab me. And she was pushing hard against that. Like, look, I worked for this. I put in the legwork. I did everything. He's like, yeah, you did. And I'll give it to you tomorrow. Just let me hang on to it tonight so I have the comfortability that you're not going to vote me out. Does she feel pissed off about it? Sure. But I believe this is the type of play that you can do when you know the person you're working against is a logical player. You know, if this was going against somebody who was an emotional wreck, they would just be like, F you, I'm going to vote you out now. You know, like, you know, because then it's like, you can't tell me what to do. Shan's not like that. She is a very thorough, logical player, and she knows that he's right. And no matter how hard she pushed, he pushed back, and that shows that they're on an equal footing. And I think that's what Ricard didn't want. He didn't want to be the patsy to Shan to just say, yes, Shan, yes, Shan, and just hand her whatever she wants. He wanted to be like, no, we're partners in this game. I'm not your pawn. We are partners. And I think that down the line, I feel like Ricard and Shan might come to blows and go after each other. I don't see them making it to the final three together. One of them, I think, very well could make it to the final three. I don't think it's going to be both of them. Let me just put it that way. We also have a really good bonding on Ship Wheel Island with Shan and Liana, and I really like that scene because, honestly, in Survivor history, you haven't had a whole lot of times where, like, two black women are able to just be in a strategic relationship with each other and not have to be too worried that everyone's going to look at them. I mean, going all the way back to, like, Cagayan, where, like, Tasha and Jatia were on the same tribe, that was, like, the last time I can think of, like, two black women, like, unabashedly were just working together and not having to be afraid that they were going to get it turned on them. And they were turned up, and they turned it on Garrett. Anyway, my point is, it's just, like, I even here, though, they were like, we got to make sure that we're not too tight, at least that other people don't think we're too tight. This is a really interesting placement for Liana, who I think might be in the best placement of the whole tribes, because I don't think anyone's going to be coming after her first unless Blue sees her as the challenge-dominant person that she has been in all these challenges. She's been very dominant. But I feel like she's in good with Evie, and now I think she's in good with Shan, and I feel like that will put her in a little bit of the driver's seat once the merge or whatever happening next is ever going to happen. So when it comes to who is the MVP of the episode, though, I'm going to give this one to Ricard, and not just because I've been giving it to Shan and Evie only exclusively these last few times. I'm going to give it to Ricard because I feel like his taking a stand, like I feel like this, like they both just voted Genie, and that's, you know, good for them. But I like that he was able to take a stand against Shan and still not end up voted out. That's what I do feel like. Like, Shan might have been really good at getting that extra ally to her side in Liana, but the fact that Ricard has been able to, you know, put his foot down and still survive to the next round shows that he is a little bit more strategically aware than most players. Now, I do believe that going forward for him, I think that he should give back the extra vote, but I think that he might need to use all the Shan's advantages and stuff against her down the line and be like, hey, she has all this stuff. If we don't get her out now, we're going to lose. But we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. As far as the decision for Shan, I was just dumbfounded, though, when, like, Shan was off at Ship Wheel Island, and then, Ricard and Jeannie were talking together, and both of them saying, we gotta wait till Shan gets back, and she's like, yeah, we gotta wait till Shan gets back, saying to the cameras, like, we're gonna get each other out. It's just like, it was perfect strategic positioning. Like, because I feel like if JD and Brad were back there, let's say, I feel like Shan could have been in trouble. I don't know. I'm just, maybe not, even then, I don't know. I don't even know if there's a possibility that Shan could have been in trouble at all. I mean, next week we're going to have something almost emerge, but not quite. My theory is, and I know I'm not the only one to have this theory, is that we're going to, so it's 12 people, I think we're going to go to 2 different tribes of 6 with, 2 different tribes of 6. And then after that, but I think it's going to be on one beach. That's what I think we're going to do. 2 tribes, 1 beach. I know they said, we have never done this before. And that has happened both in One World and in Thailand. But I feel like 2 tribes on 1 beach now is a lot more of a different, especially going into the merge. It would allow all players to get to know each other going into the merge and allow some interesting tribals. Maybe you do 2 tribes, 1 beach for 2 tribal councils, and then after that you merge fully. But I don't know. Jeff seems to be good on surprising. I hope it... See, let me tell you this. If this was a bad cast, I don't think I would be digging this season as much as I am. This is a very good cast. I'm loving all these players. I'm loving the thing. There's a lot of twists that I just don't know, or it's hard to even keep track of everything going on. But I'm interested to see where it goes because the cast is really good. And that's why I say a great cast can save a bad twist. That's... I mean, sometimes it depends on how bad the twist is. If, Edge of Extinction, maybe not. But I think a lot of times a good cast can save bad twists. So it's like, these things that are happening, I'm not all that broken up about them. I will say I was really excited when the actual code word idol was finally activated. That was like, oh, okay, it's go time. We're like, this is cool. I like that. I thought that was fun. And I thought... I still don't like the way they're doing it, and I hope they don't continue doing Code Word Idol. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. And so, yeah, I've already said my MVP. So for my predictions on who's going next, I know it's going to be different, so the 3 tribes guesses aren't really good, but I'm just going to, if I am going to guess, this is how I'm going to set it up. I would say Ricard from Green. I don't think he's going anywhere, but I would say Ricard from Green. Out of him and Shan, I feel like Shan's going to go farther. So if any of them was to go, I'd say Ricard. For Yellow, I would say Xander. It might be a thing where Liana's just like, hey, I want to get rid of Xander now. I'm going to steal his idol. I would almost think that would be an advantage to hold on to, especially if you're not in any danger. I'd wait till you're in danger, especially if you know somebody who has it, and then just wait and bide your time, and bam, steal it from them in the last second. But, yeah, so I would say Xander for the Yellow Tribe. And then for the Blue Tribe, if it's a swap, things could change up really quickly for Deshaun and Danny. I'm still going to say Erica, but if it is a little bit of a switch up, I think Danny could be going. Just because he's like the biggest guy, and he's the strongest guy. It could be one of those things where it's like, well, we're almost to the merge. We don't have to worry about winning challenges anymore. Let's just get rid of Danny. But yeah, I'm going to say probably Erica is going to be my pick just because if they do, she might be going. So yeah, that's what I have to say. So thanks for watching, everybody, and be sure to join me for the next episode. Bye.